Okay, well, welcome everybody and welcome to yoga. Welcome to new people and old people, well, not old people, but regular people. I'm really going to dig myself into a hole here today, aren't I? But anyway, let's get started. So we'll start with our usual, just settling the body. Oh, and the other thing I was meant to say before I started recording was, so all the people that are working with me live, if you can, when we're lying down, to just change your screen so that I can see you when you're lying down, and when we stand up so that I can see you standing up as well, because otherwise I just see a blank wall or a blank ceiling, or and then it's much easier for me to see what's going on. Okay. So let's settle the body. Just before we start, so we're going to be focusing today on self-awareness. So just being aware of yourself, your physical body, and aware of yourself mentally, and thoughts that are coming through to your mind, and just becoming aware. So it's just a general class about awareness today. So just making sure that you're sitting up nice and tall, your spine is nice and straight, and you can feel your sitting bones grounding into the earth. Feel your lower limbs supporting you, so that you know, if you're sitting cross-legged, just make sure that your legs feel comfortable. If you need to sit any other way or sit up against a wall, that's fine. Just make sure that you're sitting comfortably and your spine is nice and straight. And then just see if you can lengthen in the spine, make a little bit of space. So you're just imagine that you can lift up from the crown of your head to that space above you and make some space within your spine. Allow your shoulders to be relaxed away from your ears. Just place your hands gently on your knees, and just have the backs of your hands in contact with your legs, and place your index finger and your thumb together. Just the tip of the index finger and the tip of the thumb. And just allow the other three fingers to rest out. So taking your awareness to your breath. Just noticing your breath. Notice how the breath feels today, whether it's feeling calm or rough or jagged or nice and smooth. Notice if the breath is long or whether it's short. Notice if one nostril is more dominant than the other. And then taking your awareness down to your abdomen. Just allowing your abdomen to expand on the in-breath. Contract back on the out-breath. And with your awareness at the level of the abdomen, we'll chant the mantra Om 3 times together. So taking your first breath in. And then curling 3 fingers in towards your palm. Taking your awareness to your heart center. And bringing to mind anyone you know that's suffering at the moment. And keeping that person or those people in your mind's eye while we chant 7 rounds of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra for health, healing, and the relief of suffering. So taking a first breath in. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Uvarukamiva Bandhanat Mricho Mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Uvarukamiva Bandhanat Mricho Mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Uvarukamiva Bandhanat Mricho Mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Uvarukamiva Bandhanat Mricho Mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Uvarukamiva Bandhanat Mricho Mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Uvarukamiva Bandhanat Mricho Mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Uvarukamiva Bandhanat Mricho Mukshiyamamritat. Placing one palm in the lap, at the back of the hand in the lap, and the other hand, the back of the hand in that palm. So you've got the back of the hand in the lap of one hand and the back of the other hand in the palm of the other hand. And we'll chant, we're taking your awareness to your eyebrow center. And we'll chant 7 rounds of the Gayatri mantra for wisdom, truth, and understanding. Taking a breath in. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsavito Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsavito Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsavito Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsavito Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsavito Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsavito Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsavito Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Tasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. And then quietly coming down to lay along on your mats, on your backs in Shavasana. So just making sure that the body is in a straight line, lying down in Shavasana on your backs. And we're going to work with the complete yogic breath. So we're going to start with the abdominal breath. So just starting to notice your breath, just making sure that your body is in a straight line to start with, your chin tucked in, back of the neck nice and long. Your shoulders released and relaxed away from your ears. Your arms a little bit away from the sides of the body, the backs of the hands in contact with the floor. And your legs and feet a little bit apart. Just allow the feet to fall out sideways. And just be aware of the line of the body from the crown of the head right the way down to a point between the heels. And be aware of the contact of the body against the floor. Just be aware of the contact of the back of the head on the floor, the contact of the shoulders on the floor, the arms and the backs of the hands. Be aware of all the parts of the back that are in contact with the floor. Be aware of the buttocks in contact with the floor and the backs of the legs, the heels, the contact of the heels on the floor. And then taking your awareness to your abdomen, just starting to breathe into the abdomen, allowing the abdomen to rise up as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just allowing the abdomen to contract back down. Just breathing in, allowing the abdomen to inflate a little bit like a balloon. And then exhaling the navel, just sinking back towards the spine. Not forcing the breath at all, just allowing the breath to travel all the way down to the bottom of the lungs. You don't need to force anything. You're just using your abdominal muscles to expand the abdomen, and the breath is automatically sucked in all the way down to the bottom of the lungs. The abdomen expanding and contracting with the breath. And then moving your awareness up to your rib cage. And this time, instead of expanding and contracting the abdomen, you're going to expand the ribs as you breathe in. So now you're breathing into the middle part of your lungs. You're expanding the ribs as you breathe in and contracting as you breathe out. Just notice the movement of the ribs, opening as you breathe in, contracting back as you breathe out. And the third stage is to be aware of your collarbones. Now this is a very subtle movement, so you're just breathing into your ribs still, but also breathing up into the collarbone. So you're breathing into the top part of your lungs now. So continue breathing into the ribs and up, right up into the collarbone. And exhaling, releasing And you might just notice a very subtle movement in the collarbone. So breathing into the ribs and the up into the collarbones. Inhaling, expanding, exhale, contracting. So the abdomen is completely still at this stage. You're just breathing into the top part of your lungs. And then letting go of that practice for the moment and breathing normally. Just allowing the breath to enter and leave the body spontaneously now. Letting go of any effort to breathe. And then we're going to combine all three stages now. So on the next inhalation, you're going to start to inhale into the abdomen, then continue to inhale into the chest and the ribs, and then inhaling into that last little bit of at the top of the lungs into the collarbones. Hold the breath for a moment while you pause with the breath inside you, and then exhaling in one slow exhalation. Continue breathing in, first of all, into the abdomen, continuing to breathe into the chest and the ribs, and then that little bit of extra air up into the collarbones, holding the breath in for a moment, and then when you're ready to exhale, exhaling in one slow, long exhalation. And continue breathing into the three stages, the full yogic breath. Holding the breath inside at the top of the inhalation for a few moments before you exhale in a long, slow exhalation. So you're breathing into the bottom of the lungs to start with, and then you'll breathe filling up the mid-lungs and then the very top of the lungs, holding the breath inside for a moment and then exhaling in a slow exhalation. And then taking 3 further breaths and then letting your breath just return to normal. And then when you've completed the practice, drawing your knees up towards your chest and hugging them. And just giving yourselves a rock from side to side. Placing your fingertips on your kneecap. Just giving yourselves a nice little rock, massaging the lower back. And then when you're ready, just placing one foot down on the floor and then the other one, keeping your knees bent, your knees together, your arms at the side of the body. So knees bent, just placing your feet near to your buttocks, knees and ankles together, arms at the side of the body, palms facing downwards. So we're just going to work with turning your head from side to side, so that a head roll. So breathing in to start with, and just allowing the weight of your head just to take your head over towards the right, So as you exhale, turning your head towards the right, and then inhaling back to the center. Exhaling, allowing the weight of the head to turn to the left, and then inhaling back to the center. Just working 3 more times, just turning your head on the exhalation, just allowing the weight of the head to turn the head, and then inhaling back to the center. Exhaling as you move the head to the side, inhaling back to the center. And then when you've completed the practice, interlocking your fingers behind your head. So keeping your knees bent and interlocking your fingers behind your head. So you're cradling the back of your head in your hands. So you're going to inhale and bring your elbows together towards your ears. And then exhaling, lifting your head and shoulders, tucking your chin in, holding the breath out for a moment, and then inhaling, letting the weight of the head into the hands, and then exhaling your elbows wide. So I'll talk you through how to do it. So you're going to inhale, bringing your elbows towards your ears. Exhale, raising your head and shoulders, keeping your chin tucked in. Hold the breath out for a moment. And then as you inhale, just allow the weight of your head to be taken into your hands and lower your head back down to the floor. And then exhale your elbows wide. So working 4 more times in that way, inhaling elbows towards your ears. Exhaling, raising your head and shoulders, keeping your chins tucked in. Using your abdominal muscles to help you move your head. Inhaling as you gently lower your head, and then exhaling your elbows wide. So 3 more times. And then when you've completed the practice, releasing your arms back to the sides of your body. Keeping your knees bent and your feet near to your buttocks. So if you just want to watch for a moment, you're going to raise your arms up and just keep them up with your fingertips pointing towards the ceiling, and just allow your shoulder blades to really sink into the floor, and then hold that for about 3 breaths. And then the next part is to inhale and raise up your right fingertips. So you're peeling your right shoulder blade off the floor, And then as you exhale, really let that shoulder blade sink back down. So you're going to do that 3 times. And then you're going to do the same with the left fingertips, really reaching the fingertips towards the ceiling on the in-breath, exhaling, and allow that left shoulder to sink into the floor. And then you're going to do it 3 times with both inhaling the fingertips up and exhaling, allowing your shoulder blades to sink into the floor. So I'll talk you through how to do it. So just have your arms at the sides of the body. Okay, so you're going to, okay, so inhaling, taking your arms up towards the ceiling, your fingertips staying towards the ceiling, that's right. Okay, and just exhaling and allowing both of those shoulders to sink into the floor, just allowing your arms to float in the air while you sink your shoulder blades back into the floor. So really allow those shoulders to sink into the floor. And then on the next inhalation, you're going to raise your right shoulder, reaching your fingertips towards the ceiling. And then exhaling, really allow that right shoulder blade to sink back into the floor. And do that twice more. So 3 times with the right shoulder. And as you exhale, just allowing that shoulder blade to sink into the floor, so you can really feel that shoulder blade feeling heavy in the floor. And then when you've worked 3 times with the right shoulder blade, working 3 times with the left shoulder blade, reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then exhaling as you allow that shoulder to sink into the floor. And when you've worked with both shoulders, you're going to, when you've finished working with the left side, you're going to work 3 rounds with both shoulders, reaching both fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then exhaling and allowing both shoulders to sink into the floor. Keep your chins tucked in. And then when you've completed the practice, just allowing the arms to float back down to the sides of the body. Just notice how your shoulders are feeling, how your body feels, how your breath feels. So on the next inhalation, you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades up towards your ears. So you're just going to keep your arms on the floor, just squeezing your shoulders up towards your ears. Hold the breath in for a moment, and then as you exhale, sliding the shoulders away from your ears, really reaching your fingertips towards your heels. And twice more. Inhaling, squeezing your shoulder blades up towards your ears, and exhale, reaching your fingertips away towards your heels. And on the next inhalation, you're just going to work with the right shoulder this time. So you're squeezing your right shoulder blade up to your ear, your right ear, and then exhaling, drawing the right fingertips towards the right heel as you release the shoulder. So you can feel just on the right side. So twice more, squeezing the right shoulder blade up towards the right ear on the in-breath, and exhaling, drawing the shoulder blade away from the ear, reaching the fingertips towards the heels. So just make sure you've still got your knees bent. And then working 3 times with the left shoulder. So we very often carry a lot of strain and stress and tension in our shoulders. So it's really nice to be able to release your shoulders, get rid of all that stress and tension from your shoulder blades. And just one more time, squeezing both shoulders up towards your ears and then releasing both shoulders away. And then when you've completed the practice, lengthening the legs away from you. And then inhaling, raising your arms up towards the ceiling and taking them over towards the floor behind you. Hold the breath in while you reach through from your fingertips to your toes. Really reaching through fingertips to toes, and then when you need to exhale, releasing the arms back to the sides of the body, releasing the stretch. So working one more time, but this time you're going to push into your heels. So inhaling your arms up and over to the floor behind you. This time pushing into the heels as you reach your fingertips away. Holding the breath in for a moment or two. And then when you're ready to exhale, releasing the arms back to the sides of the body. Just working one more round with the toes, reaching the toes away and then reaching pushing into the heels. So inhaling your arms up and over your head to the floor behind you. And then reaching into your toes, fingertips to toes, holding the breath in. Exhaling, releasing. And then working, reaching, pushing through to your heels as you holding the stretch. So one more time, inhaling into your, taking your arms up and over your head, pushing through to your heels, reaching through to your fingertips, and then exhaling your arms back to the sides of the body. And then noticing how your body feels. And then coming up, so drawing your knees to your chest and then turning over to the right. And then rolling over and coming up onto your hands and knees. So just checking that you've got your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. And make sure that your fingers are spread, your index fingers pointing to the top of the mat, and have your weight into your into that fleshy part of your hand rather than just into your wrist. So we're going to work with the tiger pose. So you're going to inhale and just raise your knee a little off the floor. And then exhale, taking your knee towards your nose. Inhaling, keeping your knee bent, you're going to take your sole of your foot up towards the ceiling and look up. And then exhaling, bringing your knee back down. So I'll talk you through the first round, just so make sure that you're in the correct position with your arms, hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. And so inhaling, just raising your right knee a little off the floor. And then exhaling, taking your knee towards your nose. Inhaling, keeping your knee bent. You're going to take your knee away and take your sole of your foot up towards the ceiling, looking up. And then exhaling, your knee back to the floor. Okay, so you're going to work 4 more times with the right knee, with the right leg, and then 5 times on the left side. So inhaling, just raising the knee a little, exhaling, knee towards the nose, inhaling, the sole of the foot towards the ceiling, looking up, and then exhaling the knee back. So 3 more times with the right side. Then when you've completed 5 rounds on the right side, you're going to repeat on the left side, working 5 rounds on the left side. So I can see some of you are straightening the legs. So this time we're bending the knee towards the nose, and you're keeping your knee bent while you take the sole of your foot up towards the ceiling and look up. And then, so it's a little bit of a different variation. Make sure you don't strain. That's the most important thing. And then when you've completed the practice, opening your knees wide and taking your hips back down into the child pose. And if you need to, you can make fists with your hands, placing your forehead on your hands. And just allowing the body to rest, noticing how the body feels, noticing where the breath is going. So can you feel the breath in the abdomen, or maybe you can feel the breath in the top of the back? Just be aware of where the breath is going. And then coming up from the child's pose, turning your toes under, and then coming into a squat. And then you're just going to raise your hips, so you're going to come into a forward bend. You can keep your knees bent, and then slowly roll up, come up to standing. Okay, so we're just going to do something a little bit different. It's, move this forward a bit. Okay, so I'll stand sideways so you can see. You're going to bend your knees, keeping your feet pointing forward, and you're just going to take your palms backwards, and just imagine that you're pressing the air away from behind you. So you're going to inhale and really open up your chest and push away with your arms while you've got your knees bent, and just have you look up a little. So make sure that your shoulders are relaxed. You breathing into your chest, and then imagine that you're pushing away with your palms of your hands behind you. And just breathe easily for 5 breaths. Make sure you've relaxed your shoulders. Your spine is nice and straight. So you're not leaning backwards at all. You've got your spine nice and straight. And then bring your arms in front of you. So your palms are facing. You've still got your knees bent. And then each time you exhale, you're just going to sink a little bit deeper into the squat. So inhaling and then exhaling, sinking a little deeper into the squat. Just taking it up to 5 breaths. Keeping your spine nice and straight, your shoulders relaxed, your head nice and straight. And then when you've taken your 5 breaths, straightening your legs and allowing your arms to come down to the sides of the body. So we're just going to do that one more time. So just notice how your body feels before we start again. Take a few breaths in between. So just while you're standing, just feel your feet on the floor. Feel all your 10 toes and your heels. Make sure your knees are nice and soft. Be aware of your spine, nice straight spine. Be aware of your shoulders relaxed and the crown of your head lifting to the space above you. So making sure that your feet are pointing forwards, your toes are forward, and then come into that little slight squat again. Take your arms behind you with the palms facing away from you. Inhale, open the chest, and really push away with your arms, keeping your spine nice and straight. Just your arms are active, and just gently look up a little towards the ceiling. Stay there for 5 nice easy breaths, or if 5 breaths is too many, just stop whenever it feels right for your body. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed, but your fingers and your hands and your arms are engaged. And when you've taken your 5 breaths, bringing your arms, keeping your knees bent, bringing your arms forward so that your palms are facing together. And then each time you exhale, Just try and sink a little bit further into the squat. It's very subtle. Exhaling, just sinking a little further into the squat. Taking up to 5 breaths. Be aware of your toes and your feet. Be aware of your shoulders. And then when you've taken your 5 breaths, inhale back up to standing. Allow your arms to come back to your sides. And just notice how your body feels. Give your arms a shake, your hands a shake. Give your whole body a wiggle. Start to stamp. Just give your body some, really give your whole body a shake. Really, really shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake every single thing you can find. And then can you feel the energy just coming through your body when you shake? Sort of, I can feel a tingling in my body. Okay, so we're just going to open the feet wide and have the feet, the toes slightly turned out. And we're just going to start to twist. And you're going to just gently tap the just above the lungs. So you might want to lift the opposite heel as you twist, and you're tapping at the back, you're tapping your kidney area, looking over your shoulder. Just breathing easily. And then slowly coming back. To standing. So standing with your feet nice and wide, just a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And just notice how you feel. Notice that the triangle shape that your legs are making. Your legs are holding you firm and strong. Feel the feet and the toes on the floor. And imagine that triangle, the navel center is the apex of the triangle. And as you breathe in, just visualize the breath coming from the soles of the feet up towards the navel center. And then take your awareness from the navel center down to the soles of the feet as you exhale. So inhaling, take your awareness from the soles of the feet up towards the navel center. And then on the exhale, take your awareness from the navel center down the legs and towards the feet on the exhalation. So you're drawing energy from the earth up to the navel center as you breathe in. And as you exhale, you're letting everything go down the sides of the triangle and out through your feet. So imagine breathing in strength, positivity, courage, up into the navel center on the in-breath, And then on the out breath, letting everything go, any worries or cares, aches or pains, letting all that go down the sides of the triangle and out through the soles of the feet. And then interlocking the fingers in front of you. Push your palms away. So we're going to work with Tirayaka Tadasana. So inhaling your arms up. Keeping that triangle firm. Exhaling to the side. Doesn't matter which side. Inhaling to the center. Exhaling to the other side. Keeping the triangle firm. Inhaling to the center. And then exhaling all the way down. And then just notice which finger is on top, and you're going to change your fingers so that the other index finger is dominant. And then push your palms away again. Inhale up. This time go to the other side first, so exhale to the side. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the side, other side. Inhale to the center, and then exhale all the way down. So changing your hands again. You're just going to do that one more time with each of the, with a different handhold. So the original handhold this time, working one more round and then another round with the opposite index finger. So inhaling up, exhaling to the side, inhaling up, exhaling to the side, inhaling up and then exhaling all the way down. And then changing handhold again, just working once more. Keeping that triangle firm. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed, not hunched up. And then come to lay down on your back. So we're going to work with the shoulder bow pose. So you're going to have your knees bent and the soles of your feet by your buttocks, and just have your knees a little bit apart so they're parallel. But make sure that as you're working, you don't splay your knees out. You keep your knees and the top part of your thighs are parallel. Your palms facing downwards on the floor. And as you breathe in, you're going to just breathe in, tip your pelvis so that your lower spine, your lower back comes into contact with the floor. And then exhale, release. So each time you inhale, you're just going to tip the pelvis as you find that lower back comes into contact with the floor. And then exhale, release. Just one more time, inhaling. The lower back comes into contact with the floor and your pelvis is tipping, and then exhale, release. Just make sure you keep your chin tucked in and your shoulders are relaxed. So this time, as you inhale, your lower back comes into contact with the floor, your pelvis tips, and then you're going to float your hips high, keep your chin tucked in, press into your hands and your feet, and then exhaling, rounding the spine so that one vertebrae comes down at a time, from the top to the bottom, and your hips are coming down last of all. And working 4 more times. So inhaling, pressing the small of the back into the mat, tipping the pelvis, floating the hips high, pressing into your feet and your hands. Make sure your chin's tucked in. And then exhaling, rounding the spine so that one vertebrae comes down at a time. Bringing the top of the spine down first, and then the buttocks and the hips come down last of all. So 3 more times. Be aware of how your body is moving. Be aware of all your 10 toes as you're working. Be aware of your hands. Be aware of your shoulders in contact with the floor. When you've completed the practice, lengthening the legs along the floor. Noticing how your body feels. And then taking the sole of your right foot and placing it on the left knee. Have your arms out at shoulder level. And then you're going to take your left hand and put it on your right knee. And then as you exhale, you're going to tip over to the left. So it's a nice twist. So it doesn't matter how far over you go. If it feels okay, you can turn your head to look in the opposite direction. And then stay there and breathe for a few breaths, up to 5 breaths. Make sure you don't strain. And then when you've taken your 5 breaths, coming back on an inhalation. And then slide the leg away from you. Just notice the difference between the right and the left side. And then placing the left sole of the left foot on the right kneecap. Take hold of the right kneecap with the left hand. The left kneecap with the right hand. And then tip over towards the right. Make sure you don't strain in any way. If it feels okay, looking in the opposite direction. Just working with what feels right for your body. Stay there for up to 5 breaths. Coming back on an inhalation. And just working one further round on each side. Just allowing your arms to come back to the sides of the body. Noticing how your body feels. And then coming up to a comfortable sitting position for pranayama practice. So we're going to work with Bhastrika pranayama today, which is the bellows breath. So if you're not used to this breath, then just breathe in and out into your abdomen. But basically it's you're going to breathe in, expanding the abdomen, breathe out, squeezing the breath out using your abdominal muscles. So it's not that fast, it's quite slow. So and I don't know if you can see properly. I'll just come forward a bit so you can see. So I'll just demonstrate. So you're breathing in and out with the same force. You're breathing in, expanding the abdomen, breathing out with the same force that you breathed in. So it's like a pumping action. So we're going to work 15 breaths, pranayama, Bhastrika breaths in a round. So 15 breaths and then stop and breathe normally. And then you're going to work another 3 rounds. So 4 rounds altogether of 15 breaths. If the practice is new to you or you're not quite sure, then just breathe in and out into the abdomen, but just notice the abdomen expanding and contracting as you breathe. So we just start to connect with the breath to start with. So make sure that you're sitting nice and comfy. You can feel the sitting bones grounding into the earth. Your lower limbs supporting your body. The spine nice and straight. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears. crown of the head, reaching up towards the space above you. And feel the length in the spine. And then start to connect with the breath. And slowly closing your eyes, softening the skin all on the face, softening the skin around the eyes and the forehead, the lips. Just noticing your breath, spontaneous breath entering and leaving the body. And then when you're ready, starting your Bhastrika practice, whatever that might be, whether it's breathing using the pumping breath or whether you're just focusing on the abdominal breath. 15 breaths, and then take a few breaths in between each round. When you've completed the practice, very slowly coming to lie down in Shavasana for Yoga Nidra practice. Covering yourselves up, making sure that you're comfortable and that you're going to be warm enough. So coming to lay down on your back in Shavasana for Yoga Nidra practice now. Just checking that your body is in a straight line and that you're warm enough and you're comfortable. Make sure your chin's tucked in so that the back of the neck is nice and long and the shoulders away from the ears. The arms by the sides of the body, the backs of the hands in contact with the floor. And the legs and feet a little bit apart, the feet falling out sideways. Just be aware of the whole body settling on the floor. Be aware of the line of the body from the crown of the head all the way down to a point between the heels. Be aware of the contact of the body on the floor. The back of the head in contact with the floor. Shoulder blades in contact with the floor. Notice all the parts of the back that are in contact with the floor. The buttocks, the backs of the legs, the heels, the whole body lying in Shavasana, still and quiet, in contact with the floor. And notice the contact of your clothes and your covers. Notice the weight, the feel. Notice the feel of the air on any uncovered skin. And start to notice any sounds that you can hear. Sounds within the room that you're in. Sounds in the distance. Don't become involved in any one sound, just notice it and move to the next. And now's the time to make your resolve, your Sankalpa. So if you have a Sankalpa, repeat it now to yourself 3 times with faith and feeling. But if the practice is new to you, just spend a moment reflecting on what your resolve or your Sankalpa might be. Something positive that will be productive in your life. So we're now going to go on a journey around the body, and as each part of the body is named, just mentally notice that part of the body without moving it, and then move to the next part. So we start with the right hand thumb, the right hand thumb. Be aware of the right hand thumb. The second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm, back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder, armpit, side, waist, hip, thigh, right kneecap, back of the knee, shin, calf muscle, ankle, heel, top of the foot, sole of the foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe, the whole of the right side of the body. Take your awareness now to the left hand thumb, the left hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm, back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, left shoulder, armpit, side, waist, hip, thigh, left kneecap, back of the knee, shin, calf muscle, ankle, heel, top of the foot, sole of the foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe, the whole of the left side of the body. Be aware of the right buttock and the left buttock, the whole length of the spine, the whole of the back, the right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, back of the neck, back of the head, the crown of the head, the forehead, the right temple, left temple, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, the eyebrow center, the right eye, left eye, right nostril, left nostril, the tip of the nose, right cheek, left cheek, right ear, left ear, top lip, bottom lip, the place where the lips meet, the chin, throat, right collarbone, left collarbone, right side of the chest, left side of the chest, the center of the chest, the navel, the abdomen, and the groin, the whole of the back of the body, the whole of the front of the body, the whole right leg, the whole left leg, both legs together, the whole right arm, the whole left arm, both arms together, the whole body, the whole body, the whole body, the whole body lying in Shavasana, completely still and quiet, apart from the gentle movement of the breath. Noticing the breath moving in and out of the body. The subtle breath, the body breathing all by itself. Just be aware of the spontaneous breath. And start to become aware of the body feeling heavy. Bring about that feeling of heaviness in the body. The body feeling heavy, as if almost it could sink into the ground. A heavy body sinking into the ground. Heavy body. And letting go of that heaviness now. Allow the body to feel as if it could become lighter and lighter. A light, weightless body, almost so weightless that it could float from the floor. A light, weightless body, floating from the floor. And letting go of the lightness now. Imagine that your body is becoming cold. Recreate that sensation of coldness in the body. The body becoming cold. Imagine walking on a cold floor. The body feeling cold. And then letting go of that feeling of coldness. Recreate the feeling of warmth in the body. Feeling of warmth starting in the navel center. And the warmth expanding out through the body, out to the arms and the fingers, out through to the legs and the feet and the toes. The warm, comfortable body. And bringing back to mind now your sankalpa, your resolve that you made at the beginning of the practice. Stating your sankalpa to yourself 3 times with faith and feeling. And now starting to become aware of your body lying on the floor. Become aware of your body still, relaxed, and quiet. And be aware of the space that your body is occupying, the space in the room that you're lying. And just imagine that you can see yourself from above. See your body lying there on the floor. Start to be aware of the body now, lying there on the floor. Start to be aware of the room around you. Be aware of the ceiling, the walls, the windows, the doors. Start to notice any sounds within your room. Noticing any sounds outside of your room. The practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. Taking your awareness now down to the soles of your feet. And start to make some small movements with your feet and your toes. Start to stretch your legs. And take your awareness to your hands and your fingers. And to start to make some small movements with your fingers and your hands. Stretch your arms. Making any movements that your body feels it needs to make. And then drawing your knees up towards your chest. And then turning over onto your right side. And preparing to come up to sitting when you're ready, keeping your eyes softly closed. Coming up to a comfortable sitting position when you're ready. We'll finish by chanting the mantra Om 3 times together. Taking a breath in. Rubbing your hands together to create some heat in the palms of your hands. Rubbing your hands together briskly to create some heat. And then placing your warm palms over your closed eyelids. And opening your eyes into the darkness. Allowing some chinks of light to come in through your fingertips. And then drawing your hands down to your laps when you're ready. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you. And we say Namaste. Thank you for joining me.